let's get started. And so what we're going to do in a rapid fashion is we're going to do our regular scans where we look for healthy pullback setups, bounce setups, zone break setups, and zone break retrace setups using our Liquidity View scanner. And the process is going to be very simple. We're going to be focusing on one setup at a time. We're going to be creating a hot list or a watch list, and then we're going to go through that hot list to find the most interesting one for today. So how do we do this? Well, let me quickly walk you through these setups that we are considering. So the first one is the healthy pullback setup. It's a very popular one. It's really powerful when it comes to trend entries. As we know, trends are more likely to continue than to reverse. But not every trend entry is equally good. So what you want to do as a trend trader, you want to wait for a pause in trend, for a pullback, where prices, in this case, it's an uptrend, where prices go down a bit. And then you want to enter in the direction of the trend. Why is this better? Well, very simple, because you, first of all, will pay less money for this particular symbol, because the price is cheaper. And secondly, you will also have less risk on the table. Why? Because your stop loss typically is closer by. Therefore, less risk. And we have designed an indicator called our trend radar indicator based on this principle. You can see it here, these little red patches. These are all healthy pullbacks, which can be great opportunities for healthy pullback entry. Now, this works really nicely for long-term trending stocks, especially if this is also paired with what we call a bounce setup. So two things are coming together. So a bounce setup is something where prices actually are approaching a key support level. And the anticipation is, hey, prices may bounce up from this level towards the middle, in between support and resistance. So if we have these two things coming together, that's really the trifecta, or the double strength of the two things. So, but of course, this works very nicely oftentimes, especially when the trend is up as well, that we have these nice bounces, but not all the time. Of course, there are no guarantees in trading. And at some point, of course, support might be broken to the downside. In this case, well, that's the only way support can be broken to the downside. But this, once again, is an opportunity for us as traders, because then we have what we call a zone break. And a zone break is a setup where we would enter in the direction of the zone break, in this case, the bearish direction, in the hope that, hey, prices are going to continue in this direction for quite some time. But there's one caveat, which we call the fake out or the retrace. So oftentimes when we have these zone breaks, prices will come up one more time towards the broken level. When support is broken, guess what happens? It becomes resistance. And then prices will bounce off from this newly formed resistance level and then really take off in the direction of the breakout. And this, of course, works in both directions. Also, if resistance is broken, prices may come up, fake you out a little bit, and by coming down again, resistance becomes support, and then prices will really are going to rally from that point on. Okay, enough theory. Let's find these setups. So I'm going to switch over to our beautiful Liquidity View dashboard. If I can find it, there we go. And let's see how we can find this setup. And by the way, just real quick, guys, what is going on in the markets right now? Do you would you like to see my take on it? Well, real quick. So SPY yesterday closed above this highly cited zone of resistance right here. This used to be a support level. It was broken. It became resistance. Do you see this little red line here? Let me make this a bit bigger. So this is done. But are we out of the woods yet? Maybe, but maybe not. Why? Look at this huge gap from here, actually from down here, in fact, to all the way up there. This is a massive gap. This gap, might get closed. So gaps often get closed, not all the time, but oftentimes these gaps get closed. And for this gap to close, well, what needs to happen? Well, prices need to come down all the way back to this level here. And if prices come down all the way back to this level, then we are once again below this resistance level. So I'm still a bit cautious at the minimum. Of course, today looks promising if I go to the live market here. Yeah, another strong bullish day up. And I guess the further we come away from this gap, the perhaps more unlikely it becomes that this gap will be filled. but this remains to be seen. So yeah, definitely some very strong momentum, and not many people thought, hey, there's going to be a V-shaped pattern. Look at this one here, full screen. A classic V-shaped pattern. It doesn't happen very often. Oftentimes, you get a little up and then down and then further down, this kind of pattern, but this is a true V-shape here. Price bounced off right away. And let me just look here historically real quick. Yeah, we had it before. This was a bit more pronounced. So now prices went down in waves all the way here and then, up in waves too, but also somewhat of a V-shaped pattern. And let's look at COVID real quick, just by scrolling down just a little bit. Yeah, here it was, you never know. Prices go down in waves. And yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. If this is my thesis, my interpretation, if we manage, of course, to make all-time highs, and we're not far away on the SPY, we're only roughly 20 points away. Oh my, who would have thought after this huge move? If we make all-time highs, then I think we might be out of the woods. Price is going to continue as if nothing would have happened. But as long as this doesn't happen, there's still a chance that maybe we're going to see another leg further down. So still be a bit cautious on that side. But that's my take. Okay, back to our scanning session. Now, first setup that we wanted to see is a pullback setup. Okay, let's check it out. So for pullback, our trend radar indicator down here is responsible. And in fact, we have different degrees of pullback. So for example, let's pick one here. It could be perhaps a level 3 pullback. You can see it here for this stock here, Sensora Inc. Level 3 pullback. Now, how do I know this? Well, the first 3 levels here are red, and the last 2 ones are green. So in this case, it's it's a very bullish stock, bullish for a long, long time, but we pulled back. In this setup, and in fact, this is a really interesting one. We gapped down here on Monday, and this gap, honestly, is primed to be closed. Yeah, this is a long-term trending stock, a bit of a gap down, but I think, let me just see what's happened today. Yeah, we're already up a little bit. I mean, to me, a very interesting one. I found this simply by selecting level 3 pullback and then by also selecting here MA Rush to be bullish. You want to have a bullish trend at the same time. And then the first one that comes up, Sensora Inc. In fact, I'm going to add this one to our watch list. I think that's a very interesting one. Long-term bullish for 1,257 trading days. Now a nice level 3 pullback with a gap, which perhaps wants to be closed very soon. So very interesting setup. So let me just go in here, create a new watch list real quick. Okay, create. So setups. Okay, 2025 05/13. That's today's date. And we're going to add this stock to our watch list. All right, done. Next one, just for the fun of it, McKesson Corp. Also a nice one. Look how beautiful we bounced off this resistance level. Now the pullback, also level 3, towards this support level. Yeah, let me see what's happening right now in the market. Yeah, things are still similar at the same area. To me, also an interesting one. Maybe here we're going to see even a level 4 pullback. Price is coming down all the way to this support level. If we do, I think this could be a very interesting opportunity at this price level here to enter long in this stock. Of course, this one also bullish for 1,233 trading days. Super bullish. So I'm going to add this one as well to our watch list. Okay, so this was the first setup. But of course, and you can see how easy it is to find these ones using our scanner. Now, the second one is, let's look for stocks which are actually right at a support level right now. And also bullish at the same time. We call these the long bounce setups. I select this one here in our Liquidity IQ filter. So you can see it here. We can see from our 5,024 stocks, 721 stocks are currently at a support level. Let's check it out. So just a quick example here. Let me actually sort this alphabetically. It's a bit easier. So for example here, Adidas. Perhaps people know Adidas is right now near this support level, this reddish zone here. All right. What about this one here? AFMD, Affirmed NY, currently trading near a support level. All right, this works. This scanner works. But not every setup is equally good. Because what I also want to see is that the stock in general is also trending upwards, not downwards like this one here. This is a very bearish stock. Here, I'm not convinced that the setup would actually hold, and we may see a bounce towards the middle in between support and resistance. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to filter by only bullish stocks. Now we're down to 58 stocks. Wow, that was fast. And then what I like to do is to sort by trend direction. So the stocks which have been bullish for the longest time. And the first one that comes up here is, a classic. Eli Lilly, LLY. Okay, actually, we discussed this one on Saturday as an interesting candidate for a bounce. And of course, had you been there on Saturday and taken this trade on Monday morning, you would have been already in profit by a little bit. Let's see what's happening today. Today's coming down again. I still think it's a very valid setup for a bounce in the long direction. I think prices may be ranging between this upper channel here and this lower one here for a while. We may see bounces from here towards the upper one and vice versa for quite some time. I still think an Eli Lilly is an interesting one. All right. Okay, that was this one. Then we have Arch Capital here, the next one. In fact, I'm going to add Eli Lilly to our list here as well real quick. Okay. Next one is Arch Capital. Okay. So Arch Capital is not my favorite bounce setup for two reasons. First off, this zone here was broken before. You can see prices went below this reddish area here quite a few times. It didn't hold up in the past. I'm not too confident with it. And secondly, look how close the resistance level is above, where we may bounce off from to the downside. So I'm going to skip this one. There's not enough room for this trade. Skipped. Next one is USD NOK, also trading at the support level. I'm not a currency swing trader, so I'm going to skip this one as well. Then we have PA, Plains All American Pipeline. That one is interesting. Look here how beautiful prices have bounced off this strong support level here, which coincides with this former resistance level, which is now acting as support. Now, this one I like for a long bounce. Let's see what's happening today. Yeah, look how beautiful today is. Actually almost drove prices a bit too far up. But I'm still going to keep an eye on this one and add this to our watch list. Right? And one more, White Mountains Insurance Group. All right. Yeah, also here at support, but this level was broken before. And in fact, we went all the way down to this support level here. I'm going to skip this one. Also, the bars, yeah, quite erratic for this particular stock. All right, so this was our bounce setup. I'm going to get to questions in a second. The third one, and this is going to be the most interesting one, believe me, I checked it out before, is our infamous zone break retrace setup. So I select this one here, which basically means that, like in this case here, this in fact was our trade of the week from yesterday's newsletter, that resistance, you can see it here, was broken. This green line here is resistance. We broke above it on April 24 or 25th. Prices went up, came down again towards this resistance level, now acting as support. And then oftentimes the stock will really rally from this point on. This was our trade of the week from yesterday. It's a beautiful setup. I really like it. Let's see where prices are right now. If we are still in the neighborhood, yeah, still there. So I do like it. I'm going to add this one also to our hot list for today. And what I like to do then now here is to simply sort by bullish signal and then by trend direction. So international, Stone X is the first one. Korea Telecom here, bullish for about a year, a bit longer, 354 trading days. Yeah, beautiful zone break retrace setup here. We broke above the highest resistance level, came back down, and this could be a nice long entry here into this stock, which is actually quite smooth uptrend. So I'm definitely going to add this one to our watch list. There we go. The next one is Ozisco Gold Royalties Ltd. Okay, also bullish for more than a year, 349 trading days. A nice pullback towards this level here. Let's see what's going on in the live market. Yeah, still in the neighborhood. And a gap to fill up here. That's also a beautiful stock that one may consider for a long entry. And lastly, perhaps this one here. And once again, you see how easy it is. Look at this beautiful pattern. Up and down right to this level. Let's see what we did today. Now, today we've actually failed it. So I'm going to skip this one for our watch list. But nonetheless, you can see it's very easy to identify these stocks using our Liquidity View dashboard. All right, Niklas, before we go through our watch list, are there any questions that came in while I was doing this?
We had a couple questions about access, so we're getting to them as soon as possible. Please be patient. We definitely didn't forget about you. And we have a question in German, Daniel, if you can have a look at that from Thomas Keidel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it might be another Power Bundle AI access question.
Okay, Thomas, email or maybe remind me. Okay, I will. I'm not sure when you send it, Thomas. I just got back from a personal commitment. I will check my emails afterwards, so don't worry. You will not be forgotten. Okay, perfect. All right. So if there are no other questions, let's quickly look at our hot list. So I'm going to go back to our watch list here. You can see we have how many we have. 7 stocks here. And Yolanda, I believe I did enable your access yesterday. I'll double check it afterwards, so don't worry about this. Okay, so what do we have? We have Eli Lilly. I like Eli Lilly a lot. I think this is my take on it. It's gonna bounce more between these levels. To me, an interesting long-term or stock to invest in, especially since this is a long-term bullish stock. It's just consolidating now. So even I believe if we break a bit below this level, maybe to this level here, it will recover eventually. So this is a stock which I'm very positively aligned with. So I like this one. Interesting one. Of course, we do have, sorry, this one here, PAA, Plains All American Pipeline. Yeah, also an interesting setup. Very a bit well, quite volatile up this level here now all the way down here. It looks kind of the same as Eli Lilly. After the strong move up, this is going to be a lengthy consolidation phase, so prices may range between this lower level here and this upper one. But the fact that we're at the lower level now here makes me optimistic. Hey, we're going to bounce off this level towards higher one. Also an interesting stock. Real quick just to find the most promising one. SNEX, we had yesterday in our newsletter. We're not going to call it out today as our trade of the day. I think that's yeah, it's very clean. I like the stock, and even worst case prices go down to this support level, I think it's worthwhile holding on to it in the anticipation that prices will recover and then bounce towards all-time highs. Korea Telecom. All right. Yeah, beautiful zone break retrace. Yeah, very nicely done. Above here, retracing back to this level. And yeah, you could anticipate a bounce off this level towards higher highs. Cisco Gold is going to try to find the ones which I like the best. Here, I love the break. The gap here. Gold is pulling back. Anyways, the GLD ETF, for example, also the actual gold futures. I really like the fact that we have a gap here. So I think this is going to be, if I have to pick one so far, my favorite because of this gap and the long-term uptrend and this very clean zone break retrace that we're seeing right now. McKesson, here I think it's going to come down a bit further to the support level. Then it's going to be super interesting. And Sensora, let's have a look here. Yeah, level 4 pullback. It's also nice, but I think this may come down just a bit further. I like the gap here a lot. So I'm going to settle on this one here. Cisco Gold Royalties as my trade of the day. Let me just quickly see. So if we come down perhaps a little bit further down to this level, then enter long and then, yeah, anticipate all-time highs, or at least approaching these highs here at this particular symbol. So I'm going to add this one to our trade notes as our trade of today in this Lunch and Learn session.